Hi, Louise.
Hi, Sarah.
Here we are with Monica Hall's Practically Still a Virgin. We read 3 chapters. Listen, next week we're going to have to read some more because they're so short. They go so quickly.
And then you fly through them. You're like, wait, I need more. So maybe we'll
Yeah,
do 4 or 5 next week.
yeah,
So plan
we
on that
definitely
with your
should.
yeah,
But we have read the first chapter we read was Census, which is kind of self-explanatory, right? She's in
yeah,
school in second grade and moving up reading levels, and then got to a questionnaire
hmm
that asked about her parents being her real parents, which
hmm
then,
Yeah, it was interesting. It was like, okay, the first time she's really put on the spot. Like, do I put my parents, my real parents? Wait, like that first shift you have as an adoptee when the first person says to you, "Who are your real parents?" I remember the first
yeah.
person who asked me that. So it's like, and her parents were
But they weren't
mad.
even, it was like a questionnaire
Yeah,
that wasn't
right.
specific to her. It was just
No.
one of the questions, which is an interesting question to have in
That's what
a,
I thought. How weird.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is that maybe it was a regional situation. And of course, back then with all the scoop era in,
Yeah.
uh, you know, Native communities, maybe that's what they were talking about. I don't know. But it was an odd question.
It was not a question like they must have because they're trying to get certain demographic. And maybe you're
Right.
right. Maybe it did have to do with that because I thought it was odd too. But her dad was
Well,
not happy.
Monica, I'm sure will tell us.
We already got answers from Monica via
Yes.
text of our last
Yes. The
question.
kids from the party were okay in the earthquake. Anyone also was wondering. And then the last line of this chapter
Um,
was, I never again shared because she went to her parents and her
yes.
dad flew into a rage. So she never really
Yeah.
got quite the right answer. So it just caused her to shut down to going to her
Exactly.
parents with her feelings and concerns. So
Yeah.
there she was kind of on her own.
Yeah. Never ever again did she share her concerns with her parents, which is an
Yeah.
interesting thing for parenting. You get that
Yes.
shutdown and that's it. And especially as an adoptee, I remember the first time my mom was upset, you're like, oh, that's not something you ask.
Yeah.
That's not where you go.
I'm on my own with this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're pissing people off by bringing that up.
Yeah.
Carol. So then she gets into her friend Carol. I found this kind of interesting because she's just talking about her childhood. First of all, cute pictures. It's fun to
I
see the
know.
pictures because you can really picture yourself there. But she had this friend Carol, and later she had kind of broken off with her friend Carol before she came back. And years later, the grandmother had like her friend had told her she had been so upset about it. I'm trying to look for that
Oh, here
line.
it is. I highlighted that. Her grandmother, referring to how I treated Paula, said, some people just dispose of people like an old newspaper. Once the girl, so she had like, there was like another girl that,
Yeah.
you're little kids. You
Oh yeah.
triangulate, you do, this is just how it is
How it
as a
is.
little kid. You're
Yeah.
figuring out how to be a person on the planet.
Yeah.
But there's all this as adoptees, sometimes we see hidden meaning in things. And,
Yeah.
but so when Monica went back to Paula, that's when her grandmother was like, some people just
Dispose of people.
dispose of people.
Well, and
Yeah.
adoptees do have friendship issues. I mean, the
Hmm.
thing is they're very lost, and so they tend to go group to group looking, right?
Yep.
And you don't even know you're hurting someone along. I mean, we've all had this. I have guilt about some things you do in that age. I'm sure everybody does, but I think there's a certain like, just you're looking. Is that my person? Is that my person? Poor Monica. I
I
hear you.
know.
Yeah. Oh,
uh,
oh, the end of this chapter. Okay, this is interesting. It's all about like the different growth she's going through with her friends and posters on the wall. But just this last line. This was way before the neighbors began gossiping about my midnight window escapes.
oh, girl, we have things in common.
We sure did.
I
We
was
would have
a
hung out with Monica.
I was escaping out the window,
Me
well,
too.
sliding glass door more aptly.
Mine was on the first floor. It was a big window. I could literally just walk right out. It was like the craziest. What were they thinking?
And I always got caught.
You
Not
did.
good.
I
I
rarely
spent I
got
spent
caught.
my most of my teenage years grounded.
I rarely got caught.
Well, then this is this
Yeah.
chapter was pretty
Harsh.
devastating because
Yeah.
her dad, after 20 years sober,
Yeah.
began drinking. And his alcoholism, and that's what happens. Like if you
Yes.
stay sober, that that disease just continues, so when you drink it, it'll trigger and be even worse,
Yeah.
seems to be what happens with people.
And it caused the mom to drink with them.
Right.
So then they had horrible fights at night, and the brother Tim or whatever, he was little and had stomach sensitivities and stuff, and he'd be in the bathroom all night. They were both stressed out, constant fighting. Then the
And he
dad,
and
yeah,
also he gambled.
yes,
So there began this whole family thing of like the mom, Monica and Tim would be driving around looking for the dad who'd be gone for days at a time drinking
yeah.
and gambling, and so
I I did think it was interesting that they thought maybe he was gone because he got eaten by a bear,
right. I
which is
mean,
something normal in Alaska. Actually, I read a book about it.
almost better to be eaten by the bear than to be drinking
Yeah,
and gambling. I mean,
that's
not
how.
really, but
Right.
but boy, talk about
Yeah, her world shifted big time. It
mm-hmm.
became pretty ugly. How old was she in this part? I could in fifth grade.
Yeah,
Yeah, so then she's getting into those years and it's not good. Oh, and her mom had selective memory. That
later, yeah.
like I don't remember that, honey. Just
Remembering the
so
good times and not, yeah.
mm-hmm.
So then you don't ever
Again.
really get a chance to talk about it, or
Yeah.
it's sort of left it's in all in your head, you know?
Yeah. My mom sometimes had selective memory.
I mean, I think I think a lot of parents have selective memory.
You're like, remember, mom? She's like, no. Really?
Oh,
Seemed
that must
big.
be your imagination. Creating problems again.
Right? I know. Well, this is a
Uh,
good book, Monica. So next time, 4 to 5 chapters, everybody.
yeah, well, yep.
Because
Just keep,
also, you want to keep going is
you
the
want to
thing.
keep going. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
wait, I want to see what happens next. It's really good.
Yes, very good. Well,
Oh,
um,
Sariah's next.
yes, see you in a minute for Soraya.
Yeah, good interview. See you in a
Yeah.
minute.